Metuchen High School, Bulldog basketball. From the Metuchen High School, it's Game 3. I'm Mike Bush, and
I'm
right
Henry
next to me, I got Henry Sia.
Hello, I'm the color commentator for today, and we have an exciting matchup today.
It's going to be the Metuchen Bulldogs taking on the Roselle Park Panthers. Super excited for today. Metuchen 0-2, Roselle Park 2-0. But the big problem with Metuchen has been their lack of shooting. The fact that they've been struggling to take shots on the outside, the perimeter, where, points usually stack up for other teams. Bulldogs have some trouble shooting the basketball, and really they're built around one big guy. I want to mention him, Dominic Schiappa, the big man that can also shoot, committed to Marywood University for basketball just a few months ago. And this season, 49 points so far for Schiappa. Second most is all the way down at 20, which is Liam Benderly. But it's just clear and, evident that Dominic Schiappa is the guy. He is the guy on the Bulldogs, and we've seen recently that other teams are committing to shut him down, Henry.
So it actually looks that Dominic Schiappa has actually scored more points than his entire team combined. He has been able to make dunks, and he's been able to make throws like that, although we really need all of his teammates to step up and be able to make those big plays if they're going to have to focus on Schiappa.
Absolutely, and the big thing with them is their lack of shooting. But if they could get that down for today, that will be a huge step up for the Bulldogs. I mean, they're playing against a really good team. Roselle Park, an awesome team so far. 2-0, as I mentioned just earlier. They're 2-0 both games on the road. They have yet to play a home game. Their third game on the road is today. 128 points for, which is not too great considering the fact that they're standing right now in second place, but they have the second least in their conference, in their division, but it's enough to get them second place apparently because their defense is stellar. 86 points allowed. So, playing against a team that doesn't shoot so well, they've got some good defense. Metuchen has a big challenge for today. So that's out there. Dom Schiappa, you've got Sahil Gudrathi, you've got Kalen Emsley, Ben Santis, and Liam Benderly out there for the Bulldogs. And then for Roselle Park, you've got your 5 starting with number 55. That's Chris Anderson, the center. And then you've also got Will P. in the back. That's the point guard for he's a junior point guard for the Panthers. And then also running out there as we speak, Ted Gregory, the leading scorer. Right now, 35 points on the season for the team. And then Bryce McDonald all the way to your far left is to close them out. So it goes to McDonald, and then it's dished to Will P., who's going to throw this one up. Gregory up top, doubled. And he's going to lay in the first points of this game. 2-0 Roselle Park already.
I have a feeling this is going to be happening for a lot of the game, getting their big guys to go up to the hoop and make layups and maybe even sometimes dunks, just trying to get small points on the board and using their amazing defense to stop Metuchen from scoring at all.
Absolutely, and I was just in there, and I mentioned to you that these guys are huge. I was walking next to some of these guys, and I'm like, how? These guys are so big. They are going to do so well today. So that's Ted. Make sure you keep an eye out there for Gregory. He is going to be a big name for today. He has the ball right now. Here comes Gregory. It's dished out. The Panthers basketball, they lead 2-0. Gregory guarded by Emsley. It's thrown in. And the missed layup, that chance was no good by Chris Anderson. Bulldog basketball. First points on the board, and it's good.
That's
the
what we were
Bulldogs
talking about.
tie it up.
And that was Dominic Schiappa with the layup. Like you said, we're going to be seeing him a lot this game, the main focal point of this offense. And just the fact that he was able to charge through every defender was just showing off his talent.
And the fact that, he's the top scorer on the entire court right now. 51 points for this season. And that's a travel you just saw. A travel by Bryce McDonald. It's going the other way. Bulldog basketball. That's Ben Santis out there. I want to mention him a little bit. Ben Santis, an incredible sophomore. Playing as a sophomore and starting for Varsity. Started every single game. It's really impressive to see how he's been doing this year. And, I'm really keeping an eye on Ben Santis as he has the ball right now. Keep an eye on Ben Santis because he plays some great defense also. There's Kalen Emsley with the basketball. Finds Schiappa. The three-point attempt is good.
And that's what they need him to do. They need him to make those three-pointers and make the shooting and then just shoot a lot. And that way they could get points on the board in the paint and outside the paint.
Absolutely.
And that's what they need to do in this offense.
The most efficient points you could get is from outside the rim, and that's Schiappa's 5th of the year, 4 before taking that one. Only the team's 7th three-point of the year. Shows how their shooting has been kind of putting a dagger into them, but the fact that he's able to make the three-pointer is huge, and now they're up 5-2. There's Gregory with the basketball. Coach Cardillo out there on the sideline, if you see, raising his arms up. He's not too satisfied with the way the team has been playing so far, but I certainly am. And they've been playing super well. I mean, the defense has been pretty good. They're forcing the Panthers to take the shots from outside the rim, outside the arc, and that's what's kind of been their problem. They look like they're containing Gregory really well. He gets the rebound and dribbles it up past the line. Here's Ted Gregory. Metuchen leads 5-2 here from the Brainy Burrow. Here comes McDonald. He finds Anderson under low. He'll lay it in. Surrounded by 3 guys who had their arms up, but Anderson, the beast center, lays in the basketball, and now it's a 5-4 game. 1 possession still, and it's a tight one so far. I really like what I'm seeing from both teams, but of course we're just a few minutes in, just under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, Henry.
Mm-hmm. And Metuchen has been playing exceptionally well, but I know you said you liked how Metuchen was playing, but the only person who's put up more points is Schiappa. And like I said it before, we need the other Metuchen players to step up. Looks like they're just lost their lead there. And if the Panthers can start focusing on Schiappa and not letting him score points, then this offense might come to a halt. And Panthers get the ball back here.
Absolutely, and it's not a race, it's a marathon in a basketball game, especially because you've got a long game of basketball to go. So you could be up 10-0 and get smoked 60-10. You know, it's just all about how you consistently play a good game. So you have to hold on to what you have the best you can, but it's not always easy, especially against a good team like Roselle Park. Here's Dom Schiappa with the ball, directing traffic a little bit more. That's McDonald covering him. Emsley with the ball on the outside. Benderly, the second top scorer for the Bulldogs, and Anderson's going to steal it away and find Gregory. Here come the Panthers. Ted Gregory with the basketball. Number 42, the big man, has a basket so far today. Outside, he finds a pass back to Gregory. So it's a 1-point 1-point Roselle Park lead. And they've been looking a little bit better since when I mentioned they couldn't get anything going on offense. But here Gregory lays in the basket. Look at the work with his dribbling skills and laying it off the glass.
Did a little push-up at the end, too. I think that's going to be a jump ball. Yeah, that's going to be a jump ball. A nice layup by Gregory, too, using his size to be able to charge through the defenders. And just good footwork overall.
And the Bulldogs are playing a good game so far, but without some of their best players. They're missing Max Cone, and that's a notable player, of course. Just talked to Max a little bit, and he was talking about how the team hasn't been doing too great, but he's got such good shooting ability, and for, the Bulldogs to be without Max Cone, he's out with, being exposed. But, I mean, the fact that the Bulldogs are, they're able to put some points on the board. They have no shooters. It's going to be a tough thing to do, though, to win this game because lack of shooters, they're missing one of their best shooters, and the Bulldogs have to find points the best way they can. And so far, they've been able to do something like that. I mean, 6 points already. There's 3:15 to go in the first quarter. Schiappa has his 6th point laid in, and there's his 7th. Makes both shots from the line, 8-7. The lead now slims down to just 1. Roselle Park with the basketball. Gregory, really the big man for Roselle Park, but he also has the basketball in his hands a lot. He's not really just doing post-up play. Here comes Anderson with the ball. That's really, statistically, their guy that puts in a lot of points from underneath and at the center position. And as they lay one in, 10-7, Roselle Park in the lead. That's a find to Alec Lataye, and that one's given away, a steal, and here comes the fast break. Roselle Park, the shot was just off the mark. That was Javen Spites who tried to put in 2 on the fast break. Maybe a little too fast on the fast break, as it's still a 3-point game. Schiappa finds Gudrathi. Looking really good right now, and the layup was no good. Benderly tried to throw it up a little too strong as it hits off the rim and no good. Gregory now with the basketball. He finds McDonald. Gregory calling for it in the corner. And Metuchen defense looks rather jumpy right now, and which is part of the reason why Gregory was able to put in the 2 so easily earlier, because he kind of played a slower game, and then once he drove, the Bulldog defense completely pounced on it, and he was able to get right past him. Ben Santos finds Schiappa. Shoots one from right by the charity stripe, and the Bulldogs will get 2 more. Santos with the assist, and Schiappa 2 more to his day. He has all 9 points for the Bulldogs, Henry.
Good job by Ben Santos, too, for being able to force the ball out and then give it to Schiappa for the easy 2-point. Looked like it bounced a bit there, but then it would manage to bounce into the net, and all 9 points. I'm going to keep saying this throughout the game. Schiappa is the key to their offense. Like, no other player has scored yet so far, and without Cone, it's going to be a lot harder to find other people to score.
Well, we'll see what they could do. They definitely have some players that could throw the rock, but I mean, you gotta have those guys. You know, they have to step up in moments like these. The tight game, and just under a minute to go in the first quarter. We'll take a break in about a minute, but we'll also go over what's been good, what's been bad from both sides at the end of the first quarter. But so far, tight match, 10-9. Roselle Park in the lead so far. Gudrathi with the basketball, looking to get the Bulldogs the lead for the first time in a few minutes. Santos puts it up, but it's going the other way. Roselle Park is going to have it from their own sideline, checking in. And out comes Liam Benderly. He gets subbed out.
So, pretty even game by the Bulldogs and the Panthers so far. But honestly, I don't know if they could keep this up for 4 quarters. Like you said, their defense is looking jumpy and allowing big scores like when Gregory laid up on everybody. And Metuchen does get the ball back now, which might change the tides if they're able to score here.
Absolutely. A drive like this is so crucial because it's all about momentum. How could you take your momentum into the locker room? It's the end of the first quarter in just a few seconds. They want to be in the lead for that. Alec Lataye, and he kind of threw one, avoiding the jump ball violation. Now here comes the fast break. Roselle Park tried to go up, and it's going to be a foul trying to shoot. That was a shooting foul, and that was against Will P. The point guard still searching for his first points. He'll get 2 shots from the line with 14 ticks to go in the first.
And these free throws are crucial here because that'll make it a 3-point lead. And Metuchen has struggled to make 3 points at all in just all throughout the season. So if he can manage to make both his 3 free throws, that'll make it a 2-possession game. And in the long run, it won't matter as much, but it'll, like you said, momentum. That's all they need. If they could get a bigger lead, like a 5-possession lead, then the momentum will be their way. And since they're arguably the better team, according to statistics, they should be able to keep that lead. But Metuchen really has to step up because, like a lot of people say, it doesn't matter the strength of the team.
One last drive for the Bulldogs. A second left. The shot goes up, and no good. Kalen Emsley couldn't get it to go. So we'll sit at the end of the first quarter. It's 10-9. Roselle Park Panthers in the lead. Bulldogs just 1 point behind. And really, the key factor for the Bulldogs has been Dom Schiappa.
Yeah, he has scored not some, but all of the points on this offense. 9 points to be exact. And without him, they would be down 0-10. And their defense, it has been okay in terms of turnovers, but they've also been allowing a lot of big scores inside the paint. But they do a good job keeping people outside the paint too, but they just got to stop giving up the big plays. So their defense has been playing on and off so far in this first quarter, but if they could keep this up, they could keep neck and neck with the Panthers until the very end, and then maybe they could take the lead.
That's the final goal right? Because the first quarter doesn't mean too much. It's all about who leads at the end of the game. So a little bit of a break, and now they're back out there. Bulldogs have their 5 guys. That's Cody Cardillo, also a sophomore star, who also played in the JV game just before. You've got Dom Schiappa, of course, Kalen Emsley, Alec Lataye, and Sahil Gudrathi out there for the Bulldogs in a 5 set. It looks like they're going to give Cody Cardillo the assignment to block Gregory. And here come the Panthers with the basketball. McDonald tries to find underneath Anderson, but it gets split up by Alec Lataye, and he knocks it out of bounds. And it's going to stay with the Panthers here, but nice effort on the defensive play for Lataye. Directing traffic, finds McDonald. That was a pass from Spites. Gregory with the basketball inside. Fakes the shot, and it's going to go the other way. And I think it was a travel there by Roselle Park, and that was on Diamani Etienne. That was his first few. Those are first few minutes of this game for Roselle Park, and I really like what the Roselle Park has been doing. Their players have showed that they're really good, but they play a big man's game. They're playing get it to the post and kind of pull up and get the points you can. Not really so much shooting. You'll see they have the shots on the outside, and unlike what we saw from South River in the last game, they haven't been taking those shots. As the questionable call, it looked like it might have went out of bounds, but ref decides otherwise, and it's going to be a scrum underneath for the basketball. Outside for McDonald. He's going to try to go the long 2-point shot, and it gets swatted, taken down, and now it's going to be Bulldog basketball again.
From that last play, I'm just a spectator here, but I did see the ball go out of bounds, and the Metuchen sideline all put their hands up, meaning they thought the same thing. So, at least it didn't turn into any points for the Panthers, but turned out that it ended up being good anyway, since Metuchen just took the first lead of this quarter and scored the first points of this quarter. Somebody that's not named Dominic Schiappa. That was number 24.
Kalen Emsley lays in his first points of the season, really his first game of the season. And Roselle Park again struggling from outside the arc, but this time he pulls up and lays in 2. Javen Spites adds 2, and now they're right back in the league. Right back in the lead, the Panthers are, and 1 on the made layup. So checking out is Alec Lataye and Sahil Gudrathi. And coming in, you've got Ben Santis and Cody Cardillo's out there. Schiappa, Benderly's back in, and then Emsley's there too. Missed layup there by Gregory, and it gets taken down. Benderly finds Santis. Here's Ben Santis. Finds Cody Cardillo. Cardillo passes to Benderly. Fakes the shot. And it's given right away to Roselle Park. And here comes Roselle Park again on the fast break. I've noticed on Roselle Park's fast breaks, they haven't been doing too well. They look to seem almost like they're panicking on each fast break.
I mean, I haven't looked much into the fast breaks, but honestly, this Metuchen defense has been playing well on almost everything that they've done. That's the first point they've allowed just now in the entire quarter, and it's been 4 minutes through. So I'd say they're handling it pretty well.
They are. I really like the way they're playing right now, and they're kind of letting them shoot the ball, and they haven't been shooting too efficiently, but I think I just jinxed it as a long 3 by Javen Spites, and they're back up 4 now. Roselle Park looking good out of the gate from the first quarter, and now we're in the second quarter, and Spites will lay in again. It's sloppy right now for the Bulldogs, at least on offense. I'm not liking what I'm seeing too much. I mean, they're rushing it a little bit. They need to kind of settle down the pace, play more like they were in the first quarter, I think.
Yeah. Also, kind of a little commentator's jinx there. We both said that I said that the defense was playing really good this quarter, and you said that like they were forcing them to shoot, and both times they scored a 3-point and they allowed 8 straight points. 7 straight points. But good job by the Panthers. Like, they have played well all of a sudden in the past minute or so. And a good timeout used by the Bulldogs because they really need to get their defense straight. Because it is now a 6-point game. And a bad pass led to another 2 points being added. And the 3-pointer from before, that really might have just changed the momentum here. And it might have just been the extra push the Panthers needed to score a lot more points.
Right, so now they're up by 6, 5:08 to go in the second quarter. Bulldogs hanging in there, and they're playing a very good basketball game, but things started to kind of break down the last 5 minutes or so, offensively and defensively, and rightfully, Coach James Cardillo calls a timeout. They kind of restore, and we'll see if the Bulldogs can come out fresh after the break. So out there, you've got 2 sophomores, and 3 seniors out there. Cody Cardillo to Ben Santis. Santis finds Benderly. Here's Schiappa. Been their best player today so far. 9 points on the day, including a 3-pointer. Schiappa's been really good, not just today, all season. And I think that Roselle Park's starting to catch on to that. They're playing a little bit better contained defense. And McDonald, their best defensive guy, has been on him all day. He's starting to look a little bit better on the defensive side. Here comes Schiappa. And the pass goes turned away. Got swatted down between 2 Roselle Park players, and a travel there. That was a travel by Spites, who's been really good in the second quarter. I also want to talk a little bit about Spites. Not only did he hit the 3-pointer just a few minutes ago, he laid in the 2 also. Little off-balance layup, and he's looked really good, especially in the second quarter.
He has. It like the offense has looked into has ran into a bit of a jam in the second quarter until he scored those 5 straight points. And now it's looking like a much bigger game, and that's going to be that's going to be back to Metuchen. But it looks like that the offense finally got the big plays it needed from from Slice in order to make the game more competitive and make the game better for the Panthers.
McDonald, who's been really good today, finds a wide-open Gregory who misses the off-bounds layup. They've also been good at containing Gregory lately. I mean, Gregory was kind of dominating in the first quarter, kind of getting whatever he wanted, and with a guy with that height and just that skill, here he'll take the ball and take a fast break again. Fast break for Roselle Park, and they lay in the 2. Wide open on the shot was Diamini Etienne for 2 more, 19-11, and they make it an 8-point differential, the largest differential of the night.
I do feel that I do feel that they are containing Schiappa more. As I say that, it goes in for Schiappa. There's another 2 points. But aside from that, this second quarter, that was the first point from Schiappa all of the second quarter. Other than that, they have been containing him very well. And another amazing play by Gregory, too, forcing the ball out and getting a turnover. It ended up not being that good this time, but because it ended up becoming in points for the other team. But he has made a lot of great defensive plays. Whoever he's on, he will turn over the ball.
You don't want to stick us in Vegas lately, because right now we're pretty much jinxing everything we say. But
Yep.
It's Bulldog basketball under the hoop. I want to note that was a really nice play there by Liam Benderly. He saw the ball was going out of bounds off of the Bulldogs, and he kind of just slapped it. It hit Gregory, went out of bounds. I really like that play from Benderly. Really a smart, high basketball IQ player is Liam Benderly. Not only is he a good defensive and smart player, he's got good defense. And there's Sahil Gudrafi, who hits a long 3-pointer and splits the lead pretty much in half. And now it's a 19-16 Roselle Park lead. And Bulldogs look fresh out of the timeout from earlier.
They do. They cut the deficit from 8 points to 6 points after the 3-pointer and the shot by Schiappa. And like I said before, Gregory is very good at making turnovers, but it looks like he made turnover for the other team, which ended up leading into a 3-point after that high IQ play, forcing the ball out of bounds on the Panthers. And that is going to be a...
And it's going to go the other way. Bulldog basketball.
Yep.
Bulldog bench really into it today. I mean, the fact that there's no fans out in the stands now, because obviously the spiking COVID cases lately, obviously, you know, throughout the world in the school and all, it's been tough to have fans in the stands, but you can feel the energy in the Bulldogs right now, in the gym right now. It's an awesome thing to have, this feeling back. The Bulldogs playing really well, 19-18, and they've been in this game the whole time. They just kind of were down by 8 points earlier, but now, I mean, they're kind of making this a really good game. No matter what, even if they go down back, they start to bounce back, and same with the other way. I mean, there's been back and forth basketball the whole way, and down goes Alec Lataye, and he looks to be holding his thigh, but he gets right up after being helped up, and it's going to be staying on this side of the court with the Panthers. 2 shots for Gregory after missing the layup, and 2 minutes 06 to go on the first half of play. At the end of the first half, we'll talk a little bit about what's gone right and wrong from each team, and then we'll head to the break for about 10 minutes and get right back in play from the Brady Borough. The first shot is missed by Gregory.
Gregory has been playing very well on offense, but it's mostly inside of the paint. But doesn't look like he's that good of a shooter. Misses his second of his free throws. So, bad luck on the Panthers. Let's see who previously made the three-point can do something. There is, that's the layup. It's going to be passed back to the Panthers. That's number 23, Jameen Hart. And there's a foul.
Bulldogs get the ball and then kind of give it away after the Liam Benderly missed layup. And it's going to be still Panthers basketball on the offensive end. Here they come. Panthers with the basketball. Gregory passes, and a deep 3 chance over a guy that was trying to make a 3-point. There's 2 misses from outside the arc, and sloppy play. Missed 3-pointers from both McDonald, and then afterward you saw Spites try to make a 3, and they missed both of them. Bulldogs get the ball after Panthers come up empty-handed. Here they'll steal the ball. Here come the Panthers. McDonald open. Here's Gregory. Deep 3, McDonald. Hasn't been too efficient from outside the arc. He's taken a lot, and he hasn't missed by much. But kind of bad luck from the 3-point line today for McDonald. Haven't loved what I've seen from outside the arc. He's still a lockdown defender, and he's played a pretty good game so far. Outside for 3, Emsley no good. Has 2 points on the night. Here it is, Spites. Open man, and then he overshot his guy, and that was Diamante Etienne who overshot McDonald. And back in is Dom Schiappa with just 35 seconds to go in the half, and the Bulldogs are hanging in there, 0-2, looking for their first win and hunting for their first win without some of their big names. Bulldogs want to get their first win here of the season, and they might hand the Panthers their first loss of the season, but it's going to be a hard thing to execute. They have a half and 26 seconds to go.
If they could hold this momentum that they're getting, they have scored, I believe, 9 unanswered points now. And if they could hold this momentum into the second quarter, they might have a good chance to beat the 2-0 Panthers. They have a very good chance. So, we'll see if they could utilize Dominic Shapiapa and all the rest of their players. And
it's going the other way. Panthers basketball. Gregory got the rebound. Another fast break giveaway there by Roselle Park. It's found. Sahil Gudrathi finds Emsley. Here's the shot with no time to go. Benderly misses, but it's 19-18 right now, and it's in favor right now of Roselle Park, but it's been a good game back and forth. I really like the pace of this game. The players are all doing super well. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from the first half. What are some takeaways you thought from the first half of play?
Well, honestly, I like that kickstart that the offense got towards the middle of the second quarter. It was the Dominic Schiappa show for the first quarter, scoring all their points, but then they were able to spread it around to other players, including multiple 3-pointers, in order to cut the deficit from 9 to 1. So it's a very close game right now, And they've also been playing very well on defense, too, forcing their offense to have to pass it outside and go for a lot of threes. And their shooting game, the Panthers' shooting game, has not been very good so far. So if they could keep this momentum up on defense and offense, it's going to be a very good game, and it's going to have a very good chance for Metuchen to win. On the other hand, I really like the Panthers, and their offense has been playing well as long as they're inside the paint. When they're outside of it and they're trying to shoot, it doesn't go as well. But when they're close up and they make layups and make those contested shots, they seem to do very, very well. So if they could keep that up and their defense can hold Metuchen outside of the paint and force them to throw threes too, they will win because they have the more talent. I mean, statistically, they have the better talent. So we'll see what happens in the second quarter. What do you think, Ike?
Well, certainly we'll see what happens in the second half, but I mean, here's the thing. It's so hard to maintain a lead in basketball, and of course, it's so hard to maintain your style of play in the second half. There's so much that should change for the second half of action, so we'll see what happens. Don't leave us now. We have a second half of action coming up soon. I'm really excited to get back in about 8.5 minutes. For now, Henry and I just signing off. We'll be back in about 8 minutes. Back for the second half. Metuchen Bulldogs versus the Roselle Park Panthers. 19-8. Roselle Park in the lead right now. Bulldogs have been really good though, and it's all led down to their ability to maintain a good defensive job. And we haven't seen that too much from Metuchen, because Metuchen hasn't been too great defensively so far this year. Heading into this game, Metuchen let up 123 points, which is not very good considering they only put up 95 so far this year. But their defenses look very good. They've been shutting down Gregory better, and McDonald, they're forcing McDonald to take shots, who's usually a pretty good shooter. McDonald hasn't been able to convert on too many shots. So Metuchen Bulldogs have been really good at capitalizing on the Panthers' weaknesses or their tendencies so far this game. So 19-18, I'm liking what I'm seeing from each team. It's been a back and forth, tight basketball game through 2 quarters. We're back for the second half, the third quarter, and we're back underway. Bulldog Report, Ike Bush, Henry Sia coming to you live. And here's a dish down low, and they'll start off giving up the ball. It was trying to find Ben Santis down low, but instead it's going the other way. And Panthers basketball, 20 seconds in, here they come.
Honestly, I could tell that this Panthers team is, hobbled by the fact that they're losing. And, you could tell that their confidence has been, shot more than Metuchen, because Metuchen's confidence is at an all-time high, and it looks like the Panthers' confidence is not. They're limping around. I mean, they can't be exhausted because they've been resting for the past 10 minutes, but yeah, I honestly think that if Metuchen can come in with enough confidence and play really well the way they have been the entire half, they could get past the Panthers and then win this game and get the first win of the season.
So it's going to be Metuchen Bulldogs basketball. 19-18, looking to get the lead again. They've had the lead on 3 different occasions so far today, and really they've looked really good and efficient putting up points without, as I mentioned earlier, one of their best shooters, Max Cohn, and, Marcus Malamug out for the year heading in, and it's been a little tough. Not out for the year, but he's been out plenty of games now, and it's been tough to get points. But they've been doing a pretty solid job at getting as many as they allow. Right now it's 19-18, still no points for any team since halftime. It's been sloppy both ways, offensively and defensively. But this time it's going to go the other way. That was Ben Santis, who double dribbled. And now it's going to be Panthers basketball. Who's going to get the first points in the second half? I don't know, but both teams look like they're a little bit slow. Earlier on, they were playing both at a fast pace. Now they're kind of slowed down since halftime. Obviously, it's all chunks, but it could change at any moment. But, I mean, everything's been a little bit slower paced. Maybe this will speed it up. Here's Sahil Gudrathi. Sunk a 3 earlier. He pulls up and hits the 2. Just a layup over a guy. He buries it for 2, and now they're back in the lead. The Bulldogs up 20-19 from the Metuchen High School gym.
This offense on the Panthers has definitely slowed down because they have had 19 points on the board for about 6 minutes, and their free shooter, or their point guard, that was Fights, that was not able to sink the 3. He has gotten only 3 points, and that's all he's been able to contribute to this team. And the Panthers have been stuck at 19 for about 6 minutes, while Metuchen has cruised past him. They got 2 points just a minute ago. So, yeah, they've been playing pretty good. And they, right there, get a 3. So they missed the
3-pointer, and really, I mean, it's been all Bulldogs. I mean, it hasn't been too far Bulldogs because they're not playing the best this half, but they've gotten a lot faster paced, a lot smarter with their plays. A really nice find earlier to get Santis the layup in the fast break, and he didn't hesitate to lay it in for 2. So the Bulldogs are up by 3, and maybe to double this lead, Schiappa, though, misses. Schiappa tried to hit the 3, but was just off the mark. Here's Schiappa now with the basketball. There's Santis behind him. Schiappa pulls up and drills the 2 over a guy. And now the Bulldogs have their first double-digit lead of the day, and their second double-digit lead of the entire year. or not double digit, excuse me, double possession lead of the entire basketball season. And a deep three is drilled. And now it's a 2-point game. Awesome shot there to bury 3 points up on the board. Of course, that was Javen Spites, who's been productive today and one of their most reliable three-point shooters and defenders. And there is Emsley to bury 2 more. And now he has 4 points total on the day. 26-22 is our score. Bulldogs in the lead. Gregory with the basketball. Here's Spites. He hit the 3 just moments ago. This time he'll do a little shot from deep 2 range. Gregory found a one-handed throw across the border, and it goes 3-point bury.
And there's Spites digging his team out of the hole that Metuchen buried. It looks like it is 26-25, and the 2 straight threes by Spites have brought the Panthers right back into this game.
It's a tight one. It is certainly not failing to satisfy me right now because, I'm watching this game and both teams are feeding off each other's energy. The pace has been consistent. There's been all sorts of points, layups, 3-pointers. It's really a fun game to watch as you see Emsley hit 2 more to add to the Bulldogs total. They're up 28-25, and it got off to a slow start in the second half, but since then, it's really picked up. I mean, the Bulldogs have scored 10 since half, and the Panthers have scored 6 since half, both of all their points have been through the 3-pointer by Spites. So now it's Bulldog basketball again. They're up by just 3 points here. Schiappa finds Benderly. Benderly with the basketball. Here he finds Gudrathi, who lays it in. Gudrathi's been great this game. I mean, he was never a starter heading into this game, but missing a few key players. Malabug's not here. Cone's not here. And he's really stepped up to the assignment starting today, and he's already performing at a super high level. And now the Bulldogs are up 5.
Yeah, this Bulldogs team has been playing tremendously in the start of the second half. They had 18 points overall in the past 2 quarters, and now, almost slightly more than halfway through the quarter, they have scored 12. And all thanks to a team effort. Not just Schiappa, but the entire team. Like you said, Gurathi and filling in for Max Cone. He has stepped up, and this entire offense has been scoring possession after possession. And just the only thing keeping the Panthers in the game is Spites making those 3-pointers when he's open most of the time. And without that, Metuchen would be at a much more comfortable lead. So if Metuchen can zone in on Spites, then I think that they'll be able to charge past the Panthers and be able to win by double digits.
Absolutely. Spites, it's been crazy how open he's been on a lot of his shots, and it's been like that since the first half. Earlier, he was missing some of his threes, but now that he's converting, Bulldogs have to find some sort of counter to that incredible shot he's got. It's been a challenge to find a way to counter him, as well as Gregory. There's so many weapons on this team. They've got Anderson, they've got Gregory. They're just bigger. They're a bigger team overall, so there's a lot to do. And there's Schiappa. Schiappa bangs the dunk, and now up 7 are the Bulldogs. How about that for both momentum and some points also? But I think that mostly mattered for momentum. I mean, to be able to throw that down is so awesome for the fans, for the bench. And now Schiappa's got them up 7. Emsley checked out. Lataye checked in. 7-point game right now with 2:45 to go in the third quarter. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from the Bulldogs, Henry.
Same. This is perfect. That dunk was all that Metuchen needed to get their momentum back.
There's Spites for 3 off the mark, and now Schiappa again. Schiappa, he's going to try to go for 2, but he was fouled on the shot. Bangs into the boards. He's all right. He'll be up to take both shots. If he converts on both shots, it will be a 9-point game, and that will just really split this game in Metuchen's favor. But, it's going to be hard to maintain that lead. They've got so many weapons on offense. As you see, McDonald checking in. He hasn't been in too much in the second half, so if McDonald is able to do what he's been doing, maybe not attempt too many threes, but play more of the game he was playing earlier on, more as in the first quarter, maybe they can win this game. There's Nicky Van Leeuwen checked in for Sahil Gudrathi. Missed the first shot. That was Schiappa. Dom puts it up again, and this one's good. So they get 1 point on that drive, and the Bulldogs are back up 8 points this time.
And they have, like, that dunk from before, I'll say it again, is the exact momentum they needed. They were already had huge momentum by scoring so many points on offense, and that dunk just got the entire team so hyped up. And now their offense is producing even better.
Etienne lays in 2 points. And here's Nicky Van Leeuwen. Passes it outside. Back into Van Leeuwen. He misses and gets blocked. It's going to be Panthers basketball from underneath their own net. So, Bulldogs, so far this half, have scored 8 more points than the Panthers. And they're just looking better, more energetic, and they're playing with more of a purpose, it seems. And the shot is missed off the mark, but he was fouled, of course. He'll get 2 shots from the line. Of course, now that's Spites who's going to try to make both his shots. Spites, now, he's been their most efficient player in terms of grabbing points. I mean, he's hit his threes. He's got those layups. He had a funky layup from earlier on in the game. He's played good defense as well. I've liked what I've seen from Spites as he hits the singular first foul shot.
And Spites, I have confidence that he'll be able to make both these free throws. He's been making threes all day. He will, like, if you foul him, just know that you're going to get, that 2 more points are going to be on the board.
Dishes one to Lataille. Alec Lataille. It's a bouncer over to Schiappa, and Schiappa buries one from just beyond the charity stripe. Now they're up 6. 6-point lead for the Bulldogs. Van Leeuwen back there guarding Gregory as well as Ben Santis. Again, Spites open on the rim, and he buries the 3-pointer. If you see 4 in the open court, guard him. Do not let him take that shot because he's going to bury it more often than not, and he just cut the lead in half. It's only a 3-point lead. Here are the Bulldogs now. Schiappa with the basketball. Finds Santis down low. He turns around, a little step back. Shot is no good. 7-point game. And Roselle Park with the basketball. 3-point game. And there it is again. He just missed the 3. But rather, Gregory will hit the and 1 and go to the line. His first points in about 13 minutes of game time. Gregory hasn't put points on the board in a little while, but there he goes, fouled and 1. And we'll see if he could add the 1. He missed both his shots from the line earlier. We'll see if he could add points to his layup from before.
And also, I am extraordinarily impressed with Spites. He has been the only consistent part of this offense. It looks like every time he gets open on the side, he can always sink that 3. That was a rare occurrence of him not, but it ended up turning into 2 points, not 3 points, because Gregory missed the free throw. But Metuchen still has their offense in check, just scored 2.
This is what I've been saying. You know, the Metuchen Bulldogs, even if they, let up huge chunks of points, they were able to bounce back. And the Bulldogs last game only put up 47, and the game before that they put up 48. It says something about them, right? The fact that they haven't been able to put up too many points, and now today they're already at 37. They're already close to their record on the season. And there's a personal foul on the Panthers, so the Bulldogs get the basketball. It's going to be Ben Santis who's going to check in the ball. Out there for the Bulldogs, little reminder, that's Schiappa up front. Then you've got Sahil Gudrathi, Liam Benderly, and Alec Lataille out there in the white shirts. Here comes Gudrathi, 18 seconds to go. Schiappa with the basketball from 3-point range. He's guarded well, the ball comes loose, pops out of bounds. And it looks like it appeared to be going the other way, and the ref confirms that with 11 seconds to go. Bulldogs up 3. Metuchen now on the defensive side to go. Gregory with the basketball. Might have to be one more shot or so from Roselle Park. It's Gregory. He kicks it and goes right to Sahil Gudrathi. And he's going to get the basketball. And not quite sure what the motion was from the ref. I think it was a foul. And so now it's going to be on the side from... It's going to be checked in. Bulldogs basketball. It's a foul on Roselle Park.
That might
Bulldogs with the basketball with 3 seconds to go. Schiappa shoots it up, and he's fouled. That is the worst move you could have done because he was probably not going to make that shot. He was double contested. It didn't seem like a reasonable shot to take. Of course, reasonable with just a few seconds left, but it didn't look like a shot that would necessarily go in. And now that he's fouled, it's almost a guarantee of points now for Metuchen with 0.4 seconds to go.
And before, that foul might have been best for Metuchen because it allowed the foul before Gregory's foul when there was about 5 seconds left on the clock. That could have been the best thing for Metuchen because they stopped the clock and they allowed Schiappa to try and make the shot. And it probably wasn't going to go in like you said, but Gregory fouled him, and now there's 2 points on the board.
And how about that third quarter? That's the best quarter I've seen from the Metuchen Bulldogs, hands down, so far this year. I mean, they were playing smart. They were playing efficient. They were getting points up. They were playing good defense. Really, everything they could have done went right in the third quarter. I mean, now they're up 5. They were down 1 heading into the third quarter. I mean, that just shows how great they've been playing. So what are you saying if you're James Cardillo, the head coach of the Metuchen Bulldogs? What are you saying to your team right now heading into the fourth quarter?
I would be telling them to keep up what they're doing because they are doing amazing. And if they could do this for one more quarter, they're good. But one more thing he's got to say on defense, guard Spites. Because Spites is the only reason why the Panthers are in this game in the first place. His 3-4 free throws have gotten the Panthers 12 points alone, and if not for those 12 points, the Panthers would be in a much bigger deficit. So if they could successfully get a man on Spites in all times whenever he tries going outside the lines, then I think Metuchen will be able to get a much bigger deficit on the Panthers, and they'll be able to take this game away.
Absolutely, and after that fourth three-pointer, even after that, you were pointing to me while I was talking. You were saying, hey, look, Spites is open. And I'm thinking, yeah, why are they leaving him open even after he's buried 4 three-pointers? It's crazy that they're leaving him open. It just seems, they have to figure out how to stop him because they're down, Roselle Park's down big points. So they're probably going to resort to a three-pointer, and they're probably going to throw their best shooter in there to make the 3. So it's a sloppy play. Anderson throws it in. Gregory takes it, and it's going to be staying this way.
One thing I am impressed about, one more thing, about the Bulldogs, is how they've been able to contain Gregory in this third quarter. Because he has done next to nothing, and he is probably their best forward on their team. And they only allowed him to get 2 points. Or actually, I believe he got no points on the free throws. So they've contained him very well. But I think you got to choose either Spites or Gregory. And honestly, I'd go for Spites because just simple math, 3 points is better than 2. So Gregory might score a lot of points in the paint, but if they could stop Spites, then they could just stop this entire offense outside the lines.
I agree, but really the biggest part, though, is the fact that this offense revolves around Gregory. If you give Gregory the opportunity to get those points, the whole offense cracks open. Yeah, maybe you'll stop Spites, but almost every play will be a crash in with Gregory or maybe a pass to Anderson. It's going to be even harder maybe to shut down, but maybe they'll do that. Maybe it'll work. You never really know. Fourth quarter basketball still. Metuchen Bulldogs up 39-34 on Roselle Park. Schiappa fouled. 2 points and a shot. Bulldogs now up 7. He'll be sent to the line. Schiappa, number 5. Just want to highlight, Schiappa's had more than half of the entire team's points. It's just been so awesome to watch this guy. He's in his senior year. He committed to Marywood, Pennsylvania College just a few months ago, as I mentioned earlier. To play basketball, and it's just so awesome to see a guy be able to do this much with the basketball, both offensively and defensively. He's been an awesome player for the Bulldogs so far this season, and especially this game. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from him. That's Schiappa guarding Gregory. As I said, Gregory tried to do the crash. This time he'll get through the hole, and as you say, there you got Spites wide open on the outside. They didn't see him. They still get the 2 they wanted, but I mean, Spites was open again, and he wasn't just the only one open. There was 3 guys open around the perimeter. Etienne was also there. So yeah, it definitely seems like you could only find a way to stop one type of offensive scheme if you're the Metuchen Bulldogs, right? You could either stop the post up and drive kind of game they're playing or the 3-point shooting. And it looks like they've been trying to stop that inside kind of stuff rather than the outside perimeter 3-pointers. It's going to be 2 shots. First one by Cody Cardillo is good. Cody Cardillo, the sophomore, hits the first of his 2 shots. And now it's a 6-point lead for Metuchen.
And also, what you were saying before about stopping the inside offense is I recognized when Gregory got the ball earlier inside of their paint. 2 Metuchen defenders immediately went on him, raised their arms, and that ended up getting the ball turned over. So as soon as Gregory is near that hoop, then the Metuchen immediately rushes over to them. So they're doing a great job containing him. But statistically, the offense has scored 15 points with Spites, shooting with them focusing off of Spites, and they've scored 19 points in 2 quarters without them focusing on Spites.
There he is. Spites misses the 3-pointer, and now Lataye with the basketball. He's fouled. And it kind of looked like he bumped into Lataye on the side. Maybe just to stop the offensive speed break they had going for them. But it's going to be Metuchen basketball, and they're going to send Lataye to the floor for 1-1. The back there, you've got both sophomores that have played this game. That's Ben Santos back there and Cody Cardillo back on their own side. Lataye's got a shot. The first one, if it goes in, he takes another. This time he misses. Anderson dishes and kicks it to Gregory, who's coming up and pulling up, and he misses the layup. So it's going to be 2 shots for Gregory. He's fouled again. And that's been a big thing. Like, fouling Gregory on those drives isn't always the worst thing because usually he's going to hit that layup. But when he's sent to the line, it's not always going to go in. Those shots don't go in. I mean, he's 0 for 3 from the line so far. And the charity stripe is a huge part. It's kind of like what we saw with Giannis Antetokounmpo in the playoffs last year. As you see, he airballs. But he was fouled a lot. Antetokounmpo, one of the best players in the league, was fouled a lot. And it was because they couldn't necessarily stop him when he was driving. Or when he was, trying to get the huge dunk, momentum-shifting dunk. So they fouled him, and he wasn't always so good at the line. So that's why, that was a huge part in a very strategic way to shut down such a strong player. I see the same thing in Gregory as he misses his 5th foul shot of the day. Here come Roselle Park. Panthers with the basketball. ETN finds McDonald. McDonald's been quiet pretty much since the first and second quarter. First half was big for McDonald, but really the second half he hasn't done too much. Now it's a 4-point game. Bulldogs still clinging on to the lead. Schiappa with the basketball. He's got Cody Cardillo behind him. Pulls up, finger roll right in for 2. 6-point lead for the Bulldogs. McDonald back to Gregory. Gregory takes the basketball across half.
Honestly, I don't think we've talked enough about how Dominic Schiappa has been playing, rather than how many points he's scored, because he has scored a lot of points, but I love his play style. He's a hybrid. He's able to shoot for threes on the outside, but he's also able to get physical and rush through defenders and make dunks, make layups. He's a very physical player, but he's also able to shoot, which is very good. So no wonder he was able to commit to a college a couple of months ago, right when he started his senior year.
Definitely. I mean, they saw something in him as a junior. The fact that he's able to bring that into his senior year, so special, this player. And now here come the Bulldogs again after a missed 3-point attempt. It's a fast break. Schiappa shoots the 2. It's no good. But he'll stay at the charity stripe. Try to hit 2 shots.
That's actually Gregory's 3rd foul of the day. And looks like on the scoreboard it's counting up because they have committed 10 fouls today, coming dangerously close to ejection, I believe.
Yeah, he's starting to get within there, but the main focus right now is the fact that they fouled the Bulldogs, and it's particularly Schiappa, so much so that they're past the 1-and-1 shots. Now they're in bonus territory, so every single foul goes to the line. And when you've got a reliable shooter like Schiappa, swish, like you're just going to guarantee that hit. So now they're up 6, 4:41 to go. Bulldogs having a nice lead right now. Every time every time that the Panthers have been able to score, Bulldogs seem to have a retaliation, and the Bulldogs starting to get close to their season high 48 points scored. They're at 46 right now. They're almost guaranteed to pass that, and it's really impressive overall, and they've also let up a lot less points than usual. This is by far and easily their best game of the season so far. There's Sahil Gudrathi. He misses the 2. Emsley gets the rebound, puts it up and in, and now they've tied their season record for most points in a game. They're up 8. Emsley motivated, Bulldogs motivated. The fans are loud with only allowing 2 fans per player, and it's loud as ever. We can hear it from in the hallway. We can hear how loud it is right now from the gym as there's a timeout called rightfully by the Panthers. Bulldog basketball up 8. What are you saying right now if you're talking to your team who's down 8? If you're the Panthers coach, what are you saying to your team? How do you get them back in this game?
Honestly, I think you need to give them a really good pep talk because they have been, I could see it in all the Panthers' faces. Their confidence has been shot. When they're playing, their confidence completely gone, especially Gregory's. After his 3rd foul, I saw him a sad look and put his hands on his face, covering up his face after his 3rd foul. And you, as a coach, need to give him one heck of a pep talk because without it, I'm going to say they're completely out of this game. Because with the momentum Metuchen has right now and the confidence they have, they could easily keep this momentum up for the next 4 minutes. While the Panthers, I don't know if they could come back from this. But if I was the coach, I'd be giving them an amazing pep talk and try to boost the confidence of especially Gregory.
So if you're just joining us, 48-40. Metuchen in the lead right now, playing one heck of a basketball game on so many levels, both offensively and defensively. I'm liking everything I've seen from the Bulldogs, but it's not over yet. There's 4 minutes to go. Bulldogs still hunting for their first win of the season, maybe snapping their 2-game losing streak. 5-second violation by Santos. He never threw the ball in, and that's something to get, the Panthers' momentum going. Roselle Park basketball down 8, 3:55 seconds to go. There's plenty of basketball time to go. I mentioned last game with Josh Hyman, we were talking a little bit about how much time even a minute is, right? In basketball, so much could happen in a minute with intentional fouls and all. So much could happen. 3 minutes and 55 seconds is so much time for them to come back. So, there's so much that could happen in the next 3.5 minutes. Here is a shot, and Spites just misses the 3. Gregory grabs the rebound. Back to Spites. He's been more efficient shooting 3s from the corner. Here he comes, crashing in. Etienne with the basketball. Back to Spite's direction. He has it now. Checks out 2 defenders. Finds Etienne the corner for 3. Bang! 3-pointer for Etienne. It's a 5-point game. Bulldogs still lead, but they have to slow down the pace right now. They have the lead. There's 3 minutes left. They need to slow down the whole game. Schiappa shoots, and that's not a way to slow it down, but Benderly gets the rebound. Back to Santos. Santos with the basketball. McDonald guarding him. Now Benderly. Winds up in Emsley's hands. Schiappa. And it looked like he went... it looked like it was a foul. Yeah, it looked like a foul on Schiappa. I originally thought it was a jump ball, but... But it was not. So it's now Sahil Gudrathi who checks in. Bounce pass. Emsley just a little bit weak on the layup. 2:44 to go. Here's the shot, and Spites.
I might have spoken a bit too soon when I said that the Panthers are out of this game because they just scored 5 unanswered points, and Metuchen's offense seems to be slower than it was last quarter or before the timeout. So maybe the Panthers can somehow come back to this from this. If Smythe ever manages to get another 3-pointer, it's a tie game.
It's amazing.
And now it's the Panthers' ball. Look at that.
It's amazing how much could happen just with one timeout. Actually, it's going to be Bulldogs basketball when we come back. It was called by Coach James Cardillo. He called a timeout. So it's going to be Bulldog basketball on offensive territory. So now you're James Cardillo. You need to get this team to get points again. You're still at your season high 48. You just got to get points. What's your strategy for getting some points and breaking that 48 kind of threshold that they've been struggling to get by this season?
I just say give it to Schiappa, because like he can really just dominate on both areas, inside the paint and outside the paint. So I would just tell my team, like, listen, we got the lead. There's 2 minutes and 18 seconds left. That's all you have to play for. 2 minutes and 18 seconds, and then we could walk out of here victorious. But we need to score at least 5 more points. So I'd say, Dominic, you're the best player on our team. Let's go. You're going to get us to the victory, okay? And you got to make it so he can get the next couple points. And if the Bulldogs can get like 4 or 5 points, this game is pretty much put away. But we need to stop the Panthers' momentum, or else.
Something that's been so good for Metuchen today has been their defense, and it's kind of collapsed in the last few minutes. And also, their offense hasn't been particularly great. They haven't scored points since 3 minutes ago. Here comes Gregory. He's got the basketball in his hand, setting up a play. It's a one-possession game, so if they sink a 3, we have a tie basketball game. So we'll see what could happen. McDonald with the basketball. He checks in, finds a wide-open Etienne. Etienne lays it in. 48-47. Etienne gets them within 1. Ben Santos with the basketball. It's a must-score Bulldogs drive. Schiappa back to Santos. Benderly the basketball. He finds Sahil. Santos, Schiappa, moving in. He puts it up off the glass and off the mark. It's going the other way again. So much has gone on in the last few minutes, and now Roselle Park looking really good. Looking like the best they've looked all game. This is what I expected from them heading into the game. You know, a little bit of a faster-paced team. A crashing offense, more of a old-fashioned offense. They're just kind of running it in, laying it in, and doing the job, getting 2. And as long as their defense is able to maintain, you'd be surprised how quickly that lead just shatters. I mean, the Metuchen Bulldogs have just let up so many points in the last few minutes. They're at 48, and it seems like that dreaded 48 points, they haven't been able to get any more in the last few minutes, and they need to. Because if they sit at 48, they're just going to, they're going to lose this game because, frankly, the way that Roselle Park's offense is functioning is just at a way higher level than Metuchen. So Roselle Park is just looking like the better team right now. Metuchen needs to capitalize on their shots, and their defense has to look a lot better. Here's Gregory. They're on the drive to potentially give them the lead. 3-point is off the mark.
And that was a game-changing play right there. If he was able to make that in, they would have taken a 2-point lead, and then Metuchen really would have had the pressure on them because then they needed to score.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been huge. They would have had another 3-point to add to their momentum. So now it's going to be underneath. It's going to be Panthers basketball from underneath. Wide open. McDonald passes, and then he finds... here's ETM with the basketball. McDonald. He throws it over... And it's a buried shot. What a shot by Hart. Hart hits the long 2, and they're in the lead for the first time in a while. Ben Santos basketball, 54 to go. It's a great game from Metuchen. Ben Santos basketball. Here comes Liam Benderly. They haven't been able to get anything, mostly because they haven't been able to come inside. That defense has been a rock-solid wall, pretty much. Santos puts up not such a great shot. I mean, it looked kind of boneheaded to just shoot that, but it's going to go the other way. And now, actually, you know what? It might be staying underneath. Oh, no, you know what? It's going the other way, so it's going to be Gregory checking in. There's Spites there. McDonald also. Hart, who just hit the huge 2-pointer earlier, he's also there.
Now, these last 30 seconds are extremely important. And it's Metuchen's ball. What about that?
It's going back the other way. Metuchen basketball from on the offensive side with 24 seconds left. This is like watching a March Madness game. It's just back and forth. It's quick. It's just so fun to watch right now. With 1 point, they're down right now. Metuchen Bulldogs basketball. We might not even be in a game where there's many intentional fouls. That's how close this game is right now. And it's a timeout called by James Cardillo. Metuchen, Roselle Park, both to their respective sides, and they're going to talk things over a little bit, discuss what to do in these next minutes. the fact that Metuchen blew that lead is just so deflating for them. And to ask them to put up points at a time like this, 16 and a half seconds, is going to be hard to do, especially because his defense has been so good for Roselle Park. You know, they look like they have like a rock solid shell, so you can't get inside. That's why the Bulldogs have got most of their points this year, and especially through the second half of this game. Kind of drive in, take a little, short mid-range shot, and maybe a layup or perhaps a dunk with Dom Schiappa, but they haven't been able to do that because of that layer they kind of have on the outside of the arc. So Bulldogs haven't been able to do what they want, what they can on offense with the basketball because of this really stout defense, that defensive scheme that Roselle Park has been running as of late. So out there, you've got McDonald, you've got Hart, you've got Gregory, ETN, and Spites so far for Roselle Park. The starters out there for the Bulldogs. Schiappa basketball, 13 seconds left. Time is flowing with 10 seconds now. Schiappa. The ball gets loose.
No.
It's stolen. Gregory. He's got it, and he's fouled.
And that might have been it. That's it for the Metuchen. If this isn't going Metuchen's way, they just blew that lead.
So now they're gonna be fouled, and up at the line, we're expecting shots, but actually there's no bonus. So the Bulldogs never gave the Panthers a bonus. So now there's no shots at the line. They're actually gonna have to check the ball in. Indeed, it's checked in, and immediately a foul. So that will kind of waste about a second off the clock, which is a lot of time. As I mentioned earlier, seconds, minutes, all a lot of time in basketball. It comes down to, sometimes the last second. So it's a process right now in the next 4.4 seconds. It could be 4.4 minutes in the last few seconds, but a timeout called. Both teams chat things over. There is a bonus 1-and-1 shot coming up, and that is a huge shot, because if you miss that shot, you're only winning by 1. It's Bulldogs basketball. They have 4 seconds to get it down, and who knows, maybe they get one last shot, and who knows if they could sink it. You saw what happened. If you watched the Rutgers game a few weeks ago, they played Purdue. I was actually there with my dad, and we watched down to the last second. Ron Harper Jr. hit a half-court shot, gave them the win. It was an unbelievable moment. If the Bulldogs could do something like that, who knows if they, who knows what could happen right now. So it all comes down to this 1-and-1 chance. It's going to be, if it's expected to be Gregory at the line, he'll probably take the 1-and-1 shot. If he misses, Bulldogs have a fast break potentially.
Because Gregory has not really had a good track record of making shots, but we'll see if he could come up clutch in this huge situation. And whatever happens right now is going to determine the outcome for a win or loss, because like you said, it's going to be the longest 4.4 seconds ever because of the amount of fouls that's about to happen. But this is Gregory, and if he could make this shot and not turn it over, this is the deciding factor. Can Gregory make the shot?
They seem fully prepared to counter a fast break.
Oh, he misses
the shot and actually winds up helping them. Here's the thing. I think that the Bulldogs would probably rather him make the shot, because if he misses the shot, the clock is running immediately, and they don't get to really kind of play their chess the way they want to. Now they kind of, in this case here, it's a 1-and-1. If he misses, the clock is running. They don't get to kind of put their players wherever they want. Maybe call a timeout. And the shot is off the mark. Time running, and that's
it.
3-0. They improve. Roselle Park wins on the road in comeback fashion. Bulldogs shattered a late lead that they had, 49-48, a deflating loss for the Bulldogs. But don't let that distract you from the fact that they played easily the best game they played all season. Obviously, Dominic Schiappa has been on point. You saw Liam Benderly play some great defense. He also had some good post-ups and assists. You've got guys like Ben Santos playing well, and especially I really like Gregory from Roselle Park. I really like the way Gregory played, and of course, the most efficient player on that team is Spites. He's been awesome today. He had his threes, he had assists, all types of shots and points from Spites. and that kind of ended up being the reasoning for their win. So it's the final here from the Metuchen High School. What are your final takeaways from this game?
This was an amazing game to watch, but I'm just kind of mad at Metuchen how they let that lead just disappear. They were on fire for so long, and then when they hit 48 points, they just froze up. Honestly, this is a winnable game for Metuchen, and then they just let the Panthers come back and beat them by one shot. And I'm just disappointed because they did play extremely well, but they still managed to lose. So, tough loss for Metuchen. But this might, even though they lost, it would have obviously been better if they won, but this just shows the potential in this entire Metuchen team, even without Max Cohn and a bunch of their other starters that have gone missing due to COVID and other injuries.
Absolutely, and after this game, they've got a pretty tough schedule coming up. On tomorrow, they play Woodbridge at 1:30. I won't be able to call that game. Henry might be here to call that game by himself or maybe with another color. After that, they play on the 10th for South Plainfield at home also, and then Bard at home on the 12th. Spotswood afterwards on the 14th. So a lot of basketball coming up for the Bulldogs. They should get their win pretty soon. Now they're 0-3 on the year. They looked really good. Probably their best performance of the year, but, they were missing some key players. So, once they have all those guys back, they got Malamug, they've got Cone. Once they have all those guys ready to go and in play, that's going to be huge for them. That's going to be a huge reality for the Bulldogs if they're able to get some of their top players back. So, that's it. Ike Bush, Henry Sia signing off from the Bulldog Report. Thanks for watching.